Okay, here we have your typical analog mixer. It's rather large for a studio, but if you're using it for live and in your home, something like 16 channel will help you out and work. All you would do with this is patch in all your mics, and then you'd run your line outs or your record outs could go straight into your audio sound card. The issues with this type of setup is that you're going to have a stereo output only. However, you could get a little bit more custom with the aux sends. If you're an actual audio person and you know your way around these boards, you could build separate inputs for your mixing console going into your computer. This is a rather large example. They make the smaller versions of just like 4 input Behringers and things that are really small for podcast studios. I've even used 24 channel Yamahas in my studio before. I used this one for a little while, and they have some built-in effects on them. So this is an example, just straight up analog. There's no digital conversion at all on the board. The only thing digital is your effects. And so you just stuck with a left and right output. So let's take it one step further, shall we? Okay, here is an analog board as well, but this one is Firewire equipped. So instead of just getting your stereo feed into your computer, you actually connect through a Firewire connection, and the mixer's channels are all separate sends going into your computer sound card, or through the your Firewire card. So when you load your software, instead of only having left and right available, you would have all 16 channels of the analog section of this mixer would be feeding into your, Sonar or Cakewalk or Cubase or, whatever recording software you're using via your Firewire connection. So some of the Firewire options I don't have available to show you would be a rack mount, which might have your mic inputs on the front of it to put in a rack, and then on the back it'll send it out Firewire. So it's basically one of these, but in a lot smaller version. This is an older phonic model here that came out, I think, in the mid-2000s, so it's been around for a while. And again, you've got all of your input stages would feed directly into your computer as a separate channel. So this would be recorded separate. Each channel on here would be a completely separate input, selectable inside your digital software package on your computer or your laptop, which is also a computer. Duh. So anyway, option number 2. What would option number 3 be? Okay, option number 3 is a direct computer interface without all the gizmos. What we have here is a small Tascam US 800 model. They don't make this particular one anymore, but there are all kinds of models similar to this out there. This one, you've got your inputs, your preamp volume settings on the front, your headphone outs. You got a couple mics on the front, which you can also use 1/4 inch. They're dual input type designs. And on the back of the unit, you've got your MIDI input and output, which is important if you're using MIDI keyboards and things, drum machines. You've got your digital inputs and outs, your stereo inputs and outs, a USB connection, and then on this model I have 6 inputs total. So this is actually connected to your computer via USB, and then it comes with a software mixer so that you just pop up the software mixer. So instead of having a big huge mixer like you just seen, you actually have the mixer on your screen, which controls this device. And the only options you have are these knobs on the front. And these range in prices, just depending on how big you want it and how many inputs and outputs are out there. So many makers of these now. This is basically the way to go for most people. Instead of having a mixer, you can just go this route and just make sure that to write out what you need in your studio so that you get enough inputs and outputs on this, okay? So that's option number 3. Number 4. Okay, here you're looking at my option number 4, which I finally wound up getting, is The Presonus small unit here, which works great for me if I'm just recording myself. Maybe I might get 2 people in here doing a recording, and it's completely digital. It comes with the software that interfaces with the unit, so you do have some knobs to play with, just like a real mixer. You got real faders that control the faders on your screen, or you can mouse control the faders on the screen and control this device that way. And it covers tons of rack equipment that you don't need, because it's all built into the fat channel here. And these are $1,200 with the software, and I'm just getting started with mine, and I'm impressed with the unit, and I'm glad that I have it, because I've always been wrestling between the analog world and the digital world, and this gives me everything all in one box. You got some analog stuff to play with, lots of knobs, lots of options to tweak with your hands, but all the editing is done on screen with the software that you know is going to work with it, because Presonus made the software to work with it. So this is my final option, and I'm not looking back. However, there's one more option. Okay, that option would be a all-in-one unit for your studio, and you can get these digital boards. This one's a couple of years old now. It's a Tascam 2488 Neo. The last one that they made was black before they went to the DP series, which is the newer version of this, and it's all digital. This one's got a hard drive in it and a disc burner in the front. The new versions are software cards, sand discs and things like that. You just stick it in the back. You don't have to worry about your hard drives anymore. But this is the same basic thing as a computer and a Presonus all built into one box. So it's digitally based, but editing on these can be a real pain. So a lot of people record on this, dump it to their computer software, and do the editing there. And then, of course, you can send it back into this for your master tracks and burning to a CD. So this is yet another option for the heart of your studio. So I hope you found that a little bit helpful as far as your choices out there. And each one of these come in tons and tons and tons of flavors. So you want to decide what you're going to do in your studio, whether you're podcasting, making a record, just doing beat production, writing your own album. Are you doing acoustic? Are you full band? What do you need? Write all these things out as far as all the inputs you're going to need before you spend your money on one of these units. I hope you found the video helpful, and pass it along and like and subscribe. Stay tuned for the next one. I'm going to go through a series of about 12 different videos for the Studio Essential series. Thanks for watching.